Welcome to the True Crime Never Sleeps podcast. I'm your host, Hayes. This is a podcast where I share true crime stories for entertainment, but you might lose some sleep over these stories after listening to some. After reading about true crime stories all across the true crime universe, I condense all the content, bring you the valuable information. To stay up to date with all things True Crime Never Sleeps, follow us on Twitter at TrueCrimeNS, and subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcast platform. This show is sponsored by Poddex. Visit poddex.com/cinemagold for 10% off your order. Take that back. Go to poddex.com, use promo code cinemagold for 10% off your order. You can check the link in the description for more information about them. You are part of a community, so you definitely know how much community members and leaders care about the safety of their place. It is where you live and you work, and of course, you want to be safe. Over the years, law enforcement, community leaders, nonprofit organizations have put many programs together with the goal of improving the quality of living in neighborhoods, as well as decreasing criminal activity within these neighborhoods. Just to be clear, I'm not mentioning any specific neighborhoods. Me personally, I've lived in fairly safe neighborhoods, some questionable neighborhoods. Every neighborhood cares about safety and the well-being of its residents. In today's episode, I will discuss and share some facts about safety in local communities. And the question to guide us through today's episode is community policing an effective program against homegrown crimes? To be clear and fairly honest, there is no right answer to this question. There is, though, a discussion to be made and some key points to be talked about. Community policing doesn't solve all the issues of a place. Policing in general will not solve all the issues. There are several reasons for that. The main ones are there's a limited number of officers, and the culture of the place needs to be changed. Community policing is, though, one of the best ways to start improving the safety of a place and reducing crime. By delegating a specific place to a few officers, that place will become their workplace. It is their responsibility to keep the neighborhood running smoothly and safely. It is their responsibility to make rounds and verify if everything is under control, and that everyone is behaving according to the law. Their presence in the community will already bring a sense of safety and freedom. However, their presence is not enough to avoid or reduce homegrown crime. Yes, it is a very important part of it, but it is not everything. It is important to discuss an important point before we move on to the other segments of community safety. The purpose of community policing is a little different from the usual police. While the usual police go after people after they have committed crimes, the purpose of community policing is to prevent crimes from happening in your neighborhood. Its purpose is to educate the community on good behaviors and engage them in productive and healthy activities. Healthy as in within the law. If their job is to prevent, they also have to react to out-of-the-law activity. There are a few other entities that need to join forces, such as psychologists, social workers, politicians, churches, schools, and other organizations. Preventing homegrown crimes is a community effort. Community policing itself cannot touch the root cause of the issue. However, a combined effort between these 6 groups of workers, including the police officers, has power to bring peace to any neighborhood. The psychologists will help people understand themselves, their feelings, and their actions. The social workers will give people a sense of direction and community. The politicians will provide resources to make it a better place and allow all of these professionals to work in the right conditions. Churches will serve their duty to bring people together and spread goodness. Schools will educate and prepare young kids in all the aspects they need to become successful. And finally, the police officers. They are the closing link to this chain. It is not an easy process, and it takes time. a lag of time. This also takes effort and persistence. But if the people from the community are willing to work on the issue, good results are possible. And the end goal is linked to the right people. And that's all we have for today's story. We all should agree, crimes are never good and bring sadness to countless people. It is important, though, for us to try to understand the reasoning behind such tragedies and create awareness to avoid it from happening. Once again, this is True Crime Never Sleeps. We're here to bring you the best stories full of details and knowledge. For more information on the podcast, follow us on Twitter at True Crime NS and find us on Facebook at True Crime Never Sleeps Podcast. And subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platform. And be sure to subscribe to this channel and give us a thumbs up if you like this video. Thank you, and we'll see you tomorrow.